22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned into Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show. We're on every Sunday, 6 to 8, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. I had to think about that real quick. We got a good show today. In the second half of the hour, for anybody tuned in, at the 7 o'clock hour, we will be having a discussion on DMX with DJ Cool Cuts and Big Ronnie, I believe is his name, which was DMX bodyguard, head of security. So we're going to have an extensive conversation on that. Then the Black Westchester DMX commemorative issue goes to print tomorrow. The digital issue will be up tomorrow online, and we will be hitting streets Wednesday, especially saturating the city of Yonkers. So anybody, been waiting for the issue, it's coming out. It's coming out. I'm working, pulling an all-nighter tonight, making sure we do that final edit, and it will be out online tomorrow in the afternoon, and picking it up Wednesday, and it'll be hitting streets Wednesday. So without further ado, allow me to introduce, I am AJ Woodson, your host for the evening, and shout out to my partner in crime, Damon K. Jones. He's not here. And our co-host, as always, are Dr. Robert Baskerville, a.k.a. Dr. Bob. Y'all all know him. And Lorraine, if she turns on her camera, I can bring her on screen. Her camera is not on, but she's in the green room as well. Until we get to Lorraine, say what's up to the people, Bob.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to be with y'all tonight. Hope everyone's had a safe week. And go on.
Absolutely. No, I said absolutely. Shout outs. As you know, we talk about the DMX issue. DMX passed away. 8 days later, we lost another hip hop legend in Black Rob. Whoa. Everybody that knows Black Rob, all I can say is whoa. That's whoa.
Right.
Which is like his biggest hit. I'm sure on video, everybody's going to be playing 24 Hours to Live in heavy rotation, which features both MCs. DMX, Black Rob is on the album, and it also features Yonkers legends, the Locks. So I'm sure that video with both of them in it is going to get heavy rotation on everybody's devices. They said the streams of DMX went up 928% after all streams online after his passing. Oh, there she goes, the lovely Lorraine Lopez in the place to be.
Lovely. How are you tonight? Lorraine, I'm going to say, every man knows that when they see a woman and she's got a new hairstyle, you're supposed to compliment her.
Every man also knows that when a woman has a new hairstyle, he don't say it out loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's
No, I'm
that
just
part
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
she's just
Thank
messing with you on that one. She definitely messing with you on that one because if you don't say it out loud, that's when you get in trouble. You didn't even
I'll be
notice.
like,
Why
Dr. Bob, you
somebody
didn't
else had to
notice?
notice? Why somebody else had to notice and you didn't notice? Yeah. So, not saying that out loud. Miriam Pepsi said you look good, Lorraine.
Thank you, my love. I love you.
She said, hello, everybody. So, Bob, would you like to introduce our guest? I'm going to bring her on right now. We're going to get right into it.
Yeah, so tonight, for the first hour, we'll be continuing our discussion of the rollout of the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. As many of you know, we're now anticipating a reopening of our schools, and tonight we're proud to have on air with us Corrine D'Amato, who is the president of the Mount Vernon Teachers Union. Thus far, we haven't had an opportunity to hear much from one of the occupational groups that are going to be in the front line of the response and are especially, at risk. We're very thankful to our teachers. I'm a fellow teacher. I love to talk to teachers. So welcome to the show, Corrine. Thanks very much for joining us on air.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. We've been trying to do this for a couple of weeks now, and I'm glad that I could finally be here to answer any questions, especially for our parents.
Well, we appreciate the effort that you made, Corrine. We understand that people have their own personal obligations, so we appreciate finally being able to work this out with you. So, Corrine, let me...
Yeah, go ahead, Bob. Kick it off.
You want me to start?
Yeah,
so
please.
Maybe just a way to start off is to ask you, what is the size of your membership and what kind of positions does it cover?
Yeah, we have 1,100 members. We represent close to 900 teachers. The security monitors, we have about 100 security monitors, and our teaching assistants, we're close to 300 there. We're a growing membership,
Okay. So, in a sense, I think I speak for all of us, me and Lorraine, and many of our viewers, AJ and Lorraine, and many of our viewers, in saying that we haven't heard about too much bad news coming out of the Mount Vernon School District over the course of the last year, despite our concerns about the safety and well-being of the staff and instructors. So before we even get into where we're going to go in the future, I'm sure we're all curious to hear, how has the employees in the school district fared? And how do you what's your assessment of the performance of the school district as a whole?
Sure. About a year ago, we were sitting home doing remote teaching, trying to wrap our head around, how to get to our students remotely. There was a lot of training, but there also was an awful lot of newness to all of it. We were really concerned about our kids because obviously they weren't in front of us, so to speak. And it was very difficult, but the process, because of the training that we were allowed at the district level, it got easier and easier. And I have to say, because our teachers, no matter what, went out of their way to make sure somehow that they could keep in touch with their kids. Did a lot of driving by neighborhoods and things like that, just to make sure the kids, knew we loved them and we missed them. And I will tell you that in the summer, when we started planning for reopening at the district level, as scary as it was to try to figure out after all that had, happened with COVID and all the losses, especially in our urban area, especially with our kids and their families, as well as many of our teachers, it was something that we wanted to make sure we were at the table. We weren't going to be making we weren't going to put ourselves in a position or bring the students back without having a seat at the table for the reopening plan. And our district has always been cordial in the sense that they've allowed us in. I was in my campsite during August when we were still planning to make sure that our kids were going to be safe when they started coming in. As well as our staff. And I have to tell you, it was a daunting task because of CDC guidelines. And the only reason I tell you what it looked like a year ago is because just recently, when we started phasing students back in, it very much felt again like we were, forging forward, but making sure that all the guidelines were being followed. And the CDC, as you know, is not the easiest of guidelines to follow because they change daily. I agreed to be on this show because one of the tasks that I never thought I'd have to truly take on as president of the Mount Vernon Federation of Teachers was to know guidelines like CDC guidelines and know what Department of Health's jobs are supposed to be. I want our parents to know that we hold the DOH as well as our district to task when it comes to the health and safety of our staff and our students. If I was a parent, I would want to know that someone on the front lines was asking the right kind of questions and making sure that all these guidelines on paper were being followed daily. We don't allow visitors in our building, so it was something that right away in the beginning of the year, before we brought kids in, we asked the district to allow us, we have 16 schools in our district, so we asked them to allow us to do walkthroughs. Our teachers on the first day of school, there weren't kids in the beginning. I think these urban areas, they have a lot more challenges than some of our neighboring districts in Westchester, as you can imagine. And, we were hit hardest and we were slower to open than some of the other districts. And I have to say that was a godsend because we truly needed to make sure that what we had on paper that looked like it was going to keep us safe was in actuality going to follow through on that promise. So we were allowed to get in there to every school. It was a lot of walking. It was a lot of asking questions. I didn't make friends of all the administrators in the beginning because that's my job, to make sure that our people and our students especially are safe. Our parents couldn't be their voices because they weren't allowed in the buildings. So I have to tell you, we took our job very seriously. We just started letting the kids back in on March 22nd. Prior to that, students were allowed in to opt in, but I'm going to tell you that I'm a reading teacher. I've been in the district, by the way, over 35 years, 40 years in Mount Vernon teaching. And I will tell you that people were scared, parents were scared, and they weren't sending their kids in till just recently. So if as middle school reading specialist, if I had 2 kids coming in, that was it, which made it really difficult to keep track of our students and make sure that they were at least showing up to remote instruction. But now that we opened up and things, because of the vaccination, people are starting to feel a little more comfortable. We have seen our student population go from 10% to, I want to say, and I don't have the solid numbers, but I want to say in some schools you might have close to 40% of the kids showing up.
A few minutes ago, and now that I see Lorraine and AJ, I wanted to extend to you guys an opportunity to ask Kareen any questions that may have come to mind thus far.
I have a question. Are the teachers and administrators, I don't know if you said it, and if you did, I apologize, required to be vaccinated before going in?
That's a great question. They truly can ask us if we've been vaccinated, but they cannot mandate at this time for us to be vaccinated. And I don't think it's necessary for them to take that kind of a stance legally. I think that the majority of our teachers are, if not vaccinated, are on their way to becoming fully vaccinated. I will be a first poster child for vaccinations, but I'll also be a poster child for human rights. And there are people who are medically cannot get the vaccination. There's not a large majority, but a lot of our teachers very much so may be interested in being vaccinated. But after this last Johnson scare, I think that we're going to have to sell it. And I think we're going to have to do it in a more humanitarian way rather than mandating it. But I am comfortable that the majority of our teachers are on their way to be fully vaccinated. And I shouldn't say teachers. I represent my security monitors as well as TAs.
Okay, now a follow-up question to that would be, and I'm not sure if this is a question to ask you, if there is a parent that has a child in a classroom where the teacher is not vaccinated, legally they're in trouble if they don't want to send the child into school, correct?
Not right now. Nobody is mandated to opt their students in, and we're not even sure what September may bring. We have been encouraging the kids to come in because we know that's what they need. I want to tell you, we truly haven't just been, teaching the students. We've been instructing the parents as well, as you could imagine, for the past 2 years practically. And I want you to know that, a lot of our parents, if they're not sending their kids in, sometimes it's because of the student may be compromised health-wise or someone that they live with. So it's a hard call when you say you have to show up. I will tell you, I want to know what kids, right now we're just starting to do this mitigation where more kids are coming in. I just want a solid answer as to what kids am I supposed to be seeing remotely and what children are supposed to be coming in. With middle schoolers, as I say to them, I don't care if you don't want to get out of bed. You are here today, you will be here tomorrow. You don't have remote as a choice simply because you want to stay in your pajamas. So, as you get a little bit to the older kids, you truly have to make sure they understand that once they're established as in person, they will be marked absent even if they show up remotely. I don't think that's an issue with our elementary students right now. I think our parents know this is the best place for them.
Now, one more question, AJ. Are there enough psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers, and counselors for the students and the teachers?
You asked questions.
Oh,
You should be, Lorraine, you should be in my union office because that is something we have been screaming at the top of our lungs for since COVID broke out. We know we need anyone who can deal with the social emotional level of our poor kids and our teachers at this point as well. We definitely have been calling throughout the state. I work with New York State United Teachers. I'm also a lobbyist for the legislators. Nice. I've been in this game a long time. And every phone call I've been on with our assemblymen as well as our senators have been, we need more social workers, psychologists, support staff, guidance, definitely. We have guidance at each of our buildings, but they have so much become almost people making sure we know where our kids are. When I have a kid who hasn't shown up in a week, I go to my guidance counselor. So can you imagine the need we have for especially kids who are not in person with us right now, or kids that are home dealing with an awful lot of issues that we may have better served them if they were in person. I hope that answers your question. There's not enough is the bottom line. And I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
There's one of our viewers makes a point, and it was leading to a question I was going to ask. Stephanie Swan says, when she was employed at the Greenberg Central 7 school district, nursery through 12th graders had to be vaccinated in order to attend public schools. It was mandatory if they were in class, they were taken out that day until they were vaccinated to go back to school. Will this be a practice with COVID where the children will have to be vaccinated before they can attend school in September or whatever?
You know, I think it's a little early considering what we're dealing with in regard to the Johnson vaccination. I think it's a little early to know whether or not we're going to be keeping kids out of public school because they're not being vaccinated. We had this recently, more recently with other vaccinations where you can't keep kids out of school for certain vaccinations. The issue is safety. And I think that when we can identify those who have been vaccinated, I think it'll be a lot easier for parents to feel the peace of mind they may be looking for from a vaccinated teacher. But at this point, I think it is too soon in the mix. When I was speaking with Assemblyman Galef recently on a call when they were rushing this reopening. We met with the assembly because they said that the schools needed to be flexible with the CDC guidelines. And at that time, I begged to differ that we needed to be flexible or we needed to rush into something that took us this long. We just started March 22nd. Why didn't we wait another couple of weeks after spring break when maybe another surge hit? But we moved forward, and a lot of our assemblymen and women decided that it was time to just disregard some of the CDC guidelines. And we took them to task, by the way. But one of the questions Senator Galef asked, Assemblywoman Galef asked was, why aren't they being vaccinated? And I had to remind her how difficult it was to get a vaccination appointment. It was not easy in the beginning. Teachers were allowed that first day I started calling Westchester County Center to get my vaccination. As I said, I wanted to be a poster child. I do believe that for me, the vaccination was something that gave me the freedom to see my family that I haven't seen in a long time. I have a grandson that was born 3 months ago that I just got to see this weekend. So that's my personal journey. But it wasn't easy for me, AJ, to get that vaccination appointment for myself or my husband. And many of the teachers struggled. When you got an appointment, it was like winning the lottery. So I just have to say that we need to trust the process at this point, rather than saying mandated, non-mandated. I don't want a teacher unless that teacher's vaccinated. I don't want a student. God forbid anyone says that, because they're not vaccinated. I would prefer to say, let's hope that everybody has the vaccinations available to them and that they are safely being distributed and being distributed equitably. I think right now, instead of pushing people to the vaccinations, I think that we need to start making people understand that the vaccinations are safe. We have to start that all over again. And we know in our own town in Mount Vernon, that was not an easy sell. And I know the churches are going to have to get involved. What I'd like to switch gears just to tell you what it's like to walk into a building in Mount Vernon. We have 16 schools. And every school should be set up exactly the same as the other. So I want to tell you, this didn't happen by chance. It happened by planning. It happened by a staff that's willing to do whatever they have to do to keep each other safe as well as the kids. So if I'm walking into a building, my temperature is taken at the door. Before I get in that building, all parents, and they have to get used to this because now more parents are coming in, just as I've been asked the surveillance questions, the COVID questions, have you traveled? You know those questions. The parents' email also gets the COVID questions, and they have to answer them for their kids. I'm at the door at my building. If I have to take the lead, I have no problem. I'm at Hamilton Elementary, by the way. And I'll take temperature. I'll take the thermometer if the nurse doesn't show up on time. I will also have with me a list of the students and know whose parents filled out the questions. If the questions haven't been filled out or a child comes in sick, we have an isolation room. And that room, the kids are kept 6 feet apart. A lot of our older kids will text their parents and say, "Mom, would you answer the questions, please, so I can go up to the classroom?" But they're not allowed up into the classroom until the questions are asked. During their lunch period, when they get up into their classrooms, we've made sure, even the CDC did not require it. We planned on making sure if we were not going to use 6-foot distancing, because it was so confusing, whether it's 6 feet, 3 feet, or nothing at all. We met with the superintendent. I met with the superintendent as soon as the guidelines were being questioned, and asked him if we're not going to do the 6 feet or we're not going to consider the 3 feet, we need barriers. And he agreed. The CDC does no longer requires barriers as of April 9th. Can you just keep up with these guidelines changing? No, you can't. But we know when my kids are coming in that if they're next to each other and I can't keep them 3 feet or 6 feet apart, then I know that they have this barrier that will keep them at least safe in the classroom. And of course, everybody's mandated to wear masks. So if I'm telling you about my day, I'll tell you that I must say 100 times within the day, lift your mask, sweetie, cover your nose, please. But, you know, it's something that we have to do. The adults have to do it. It's mandated as well. So our lunch periods, the students are separated by 6 feet because obviously they have to eat. They're not going to be able to use masks. The CDC guidelines say 6 feet distancing if you are eating, 6 feet distancing if you're an older student in the high school. They actually still are saying those are 6 feet guidelines. And I don't know if you guys have looked at Westchester's numbers, but we are in a high level red zone right now. So truly, we should be 6 foot distancing in all the schools. We're not doing that in Westchester, and that's a problem. But at the same time, at least we have the barriers, and at least we are doing all of the other mitigation strategies to keep these kids safe.
Well, let me ask you a couple of things. I do know that I've gone to the Board of Education a few times to see Dr. Hamilton, and they did do the temperature thing at the door before I could walk in the building and had to answer the question. So I'm familiar with that, and I know that at least it's being done at the Board of Education because I've gone through it a few times. Now, you know, there's a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of misinformation. So for the sake of parents, how do you, it's not required for all teachers to be vaccinated, and they're not mandating children be vaccinated. How do you consult an adult who might be a parent who might be concerned about sending their kids to school as far as the safety of the whole thing? With, you know, we're still during the pandemic, and a lot of people don't know what's going on. How do you reassure them that it's safe to be in school when you can't reassure them that everybody is vaccinated?
Sorry, I'm so used to muting myself. I think vaccination is only one of the mitigation strategies. I think that the other strategies that I talked to you about, such as taking temperatures, before the vaccination, the safest place for you to be in the community was in your schools. Why? Because we were following, like it was law, all of the CDC guidelines, because we're taking your temperature, and it's not just the Board of Ed. It is every school. Trust me. I have building reps and members in every school. If there is an issue, I will hear about it immediately. Right now, everything is working the way it's supposed to be working, because not only do we want the staff safe, we want those kids safe as well, each kid that's coming in. If they're wearing masks, if we're keeping them distanced as much as possible, if we took care of as much of the ventilation problems as we can, And we're making sure that the students are not on top of each other when they're in the classroom because they're separated by barriers. I think parents need to understand they're probably safer in the classrooms right now than they are outside on the street.
Are the sports programs on again?
Lorraine, I didn't hear your question.
I'm sorry, COVID gave me a hoarse voice. Not COVID, the vaccine. That was one of my side effects, and it still hasn't gone away. Are the sports programs back on?
Good question. Full sports programs. The only program that Dr. Hamilton truly, and I'm glad that he was different than all of the other superintendents who decided that wrestling was going to be also a sports available for the kids. The sports programs are on in our district without the wrestling. However, I will tell you that the students are tested, and they are obviously using the same type of mitigation strategies for those kids as well. It's not a perfect science, as we know, because there have been quarantines. The other thing that they stepped up on, and that you guys haven't really asked me about, we did ask Dr. Hamilton, because we have a lot of teachers and students who have siblings in other schools. We did ask him to start making sure that when he made a phone call about quarantines or about positive cases in the schools, that he told all of us about all of the schools that had cases. So, a lot of parents, obviously it impacted them, even though it was a small number relatively of people that are getting COVID still. We just wanted to make sure that communication was 100%. So our parents and our staff are told when there is a positive case in their building, and quarantining happens by tracking and tracing within the building. And what the kind of concerns I still have, because I myself have been quarantined 3 separate times. We do have to become very aware of our social behaviors when we're in the classrooms, when we're in the buildings. I think we tend to be social animals. We shouldn't be eating together. We shouldn't be going from classroom to classroom and saying hello to each other, even with masks on. There was a lot of quarantining in the beginning, because a lot of us inherently work together as well in the classroom. I work with 2 other teachers in my classroom. So we have to be very cognizant when there's other people around us. But quarantine happens. And I will tell you, I have a little concern with the way quarantining is being done at the Westchester DOH level, because there are a lot of times that people don't get phone calls even though they have been quarantined. And for the past week, we have not gotten any phone calls as of yet from Dr. Hamilton. But I will tell you, I have his text, I have his phone number. I can pick up the phone anytime and ask him, why have we not heard? What should we do about this? And Dr. Gorman as well, the assistant superintendent. Although they may not always like to hear from me, I feel that when there are issues, we get to speak right away and troubleshoot right away about any of those issues. They know that the union is going to be calling them when there are problems. But at the same time, they also know that I'm going to work with them when there is something that we can do together to make those problems go away. As I said, I'm at my front door. I make sure everybody answered those questions. I'm not just a staff saying, keep me safe. I'm a staff saying, how can I help to keep us all safe? And that's the approach our teachers take, our members.
Hold on. I laughed when you said that Dr. Hamilton doesn't always like to hear from me too sometimes.
I know, AJ, but that's,
But he does take my calls or my emails, and he does answer my questions. And, it's my job to ask the tough questions. And, but yes, I'm sure he's not always happy to hear from me either.
But I have to say, COVID, we had to learn together as a district. and we had to troubleshoot every day. It was another issue, and it brought us to a lot closer. It brought us a lot closer, and it brought us to a much better understanding that if we work together, the job can get done well. If I'm a parent of a student in Mount Vernon, and by the way, my son went to kindergarten and first grade before I moved away. I grew up, I'm a Yonkers girl. I grew up in Yonkers and went through the public schools there. And I'll tell you, it's just, if I was a parent, I'd want to know that someone on the front line was looking out for my kid. And you can be sure that the members of the Mount Vernon Federation of Teachers, we're looking out for your kids, and we're looking out for ourselves as well. And we have a way to solve issues if there are problems.
Oh, your mic is
muted.
I'm sorry. How are the children doing academically compared to this time last year?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. I'm not sure last year is the best year to gauge it from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that people are lying if they're saying that these kids have not lost 6 to 8 months of education. They say, obviously, in districts like ours and high need districts like ours, these kids have taken it. This academically has taken more of a toll than in other areas. And of course, that's true. A lot of what we had to do in the beginning was to help the parents help the kids at home. Could you imagine? Well, some of you can imagine what it's like.
Really?
And, you had to become a teacher as well. And I think that our students need us emotionally, and they certainly need us academically. I see hope in the district that because the stimulus money included monies for summer school, and I wouldn't even call it summer school. Let's call it catch-up school. We are offering at every school building a summer program for these kids, and it won't be remote. It will be in person. So that gives you hope right there that we can possibly do some catch-up with these kids. That they're giving them
So
oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, AJ. I thought it was the perfect time to talk about the state exams that they're daring to make our poor kids go through.
That was my next question, yeah.
Was it? Good for you,
Yeah.
Lorraine. We fought against New York State United Teachers and myself. We lobbied against doing these state exams this year. And it has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with whether or not we'd be evaluated. We're not going to be evaluated with these exams this year. So why are you putting the kids through these tests? So we are in 2 weeks starting the ELA state exam for our poor third graders and our seventh graders, and the math exam. Now, federal government made us. We didn't have much of a choice. I will tell you that the state ed department tried their best to, waive these exams or ask for a waiver. All we were able to do is break the exam down to 1 day. We can only give it to kids that are in person. So a lot of our parents are savvy enough to be opting their kids out of the exams. And that's something that, is their choice, obviously. But it just doesn't seem fair to put these kids through the pressure of an all-day exam. The regencies have been reduced. They are requiring the algebra regents. So our 8th graders are going to have to take the algebra, the living environment at the 8th grade level as well. Even though labs were waived, they still, we're missing an awful lot of those experiences. They're doing the English grade 11 exam. And I should know the other exam, but I don't have it in front of me. But there are certain exams that are required. To the kids, I'd like to say, please don't worry. They're not going to count against you. They will be using their report card grade. To the teachers as well, they'll be evaluating you based on report card grades. So then I ask, why are we wasting all this money on those exams and putting these kids through hell to take these exams? But that's just my political platform.
That's a lot of pressure on a kid.
Yes, I've watched it.
especially after everything they just been through.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
So we try to educate our listeners. So, a union president, um, how long do you get voted in? How long is the term? And
It's
how long of a term? Yeah.
It's a 2-year term. If I knew a couple of years ago we were going to have this, I'm not sure. My 35th year of teaching. I've been involved in the district's union leadership for over 20 years. I was on the picket lines. I helped to organize that one-day strike we had back in 94. And I'll tell you that I was always someone who had it in my blood. My dad was a Teamster. I'm a member of the AFL-CIO, so union runs in my blood for sure. I would not have it any other way.
We're
So how long have you been president?
This is my second term. I was vice president for years. Our president, Jeff Yonkers, don't confuse it with the city, was president. I worked under his leadership for over 20 years. He hung on tight, built a strong union. And by the way, if you're asking, we're without a contract and fighting tooth and nail to get one.
Okay. How long have you been without a contract?
Since 2019.
Okay. So that would because I have a few people that that friends of the show or watch the show and support the show a lot who work for the school. And I'm not going to read all the comments on there, but they were not expressing complete belief in you as a union president. So that's why I was starting to ask some questions. One person said they don't feel like you fight for them. So I don't, if you want to address that, maybe.
I think that we have been remote for a year, and I think it becomes very difficult for our members to know exactly what it takes for them to have to go through their day and have the rights that they have each day. I don't think they understand from the union office perspective or the leadership's perspective how every day is another battle to make sure that our members are protected and their rights are protected. Not having a contract means not accepting the freeze the district wanted us to take. They wanted us to take a freeze, and instead our members walked into, because of tri-borough law, our members walked into, not myself, because I'm on obviously 35 years, there was no increase in my salary, but many of our members did not have to take a freeze. They were given step increases and lane increases. So we are doing our best. I don't want to bring that forth to them, a contract not even worth ratifying. And right now, the fight at the table is that we need numbers that are ratifiable. And we're not getting that from our district.
It's also important to note that you also have fans that say you rock, Kareem.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, such is being in this position. Absolutely. As I said to you, this is my 35th year in the Mount Vernon City Schools. I'm still here for a reason. I still have some fight left in me for sure.
Dr. Bob.
Yeah, so Kareen, I'm curious to know, given that we're on the subject of collective bargaining agreement, how has the union's demands with respect to health and safety provisions changed in light of the COVID-19 epidemic? In other words, you just told us that, at least right now, your position, and I understand it actually, you want to be somewhat flexible as to when it comes to the possibility of mandating vaccines in the short term. But nevertheless, a lot of the instructors that I hear from my colleagues at the college level and some of the local colleges, and my friends who are teaching at the secondary and primary school level, generally the consensus view from informal surveys that I've taken is that, you know, they prefer vaccinations. I get that you're not seeking to mandate vaccines in response to the immediate preparations for return to school, but how does this look, you know, stepping back from this particular issue? What is the union's position about if we have another epidemic? You know, don't your union, do your members want to insist that one of the provisions should be, hey, get us some vaccines or make them available to? I'm just curious, you know.
Yeah. I think it's a good question, and I understand it must be an important one because we keep coming back to it. I would tell you that when I was first asked about vaccinations, in regard to our members, speaking for 1,100 to 1,200 people, I know that if I feel one way, there's going to be a definite group that feels totally different. And sometimes that still surprises me. When it comes to vaccinations, I have asked people their feelings about vaccinations. There are people who are not able to get vaccinated because of health issues. And those people in the beginning of the year shouldn't even have been in a school setting. They were brought back into the schools, even though their doctors had recommended that they teach remote when remote was an option. You know, it took us a lot of fighting to make sure that many of our members were taken care of in regard to whatever accommodations they needed when they came back due to their own health issues, and never mind the issues of people that were in their households that they had to be careful of. Fast forward, now there's a vaccination. I believe that people should have a choice. And there are people even beyond that, maybe understanding from you or from me, that we could possibly understand, that just feel it is their right to say, I am not willing to get vaccinated. And what we can't do is ask them why. Now, the district has put out voluntary polls so that we can figure out what the percentages are. And I appreciate the fact that many of the districts in Westchester have decided to, instead of push the issue, try to at least get an idea of how big a fight they have in becoming 100% vaccinated. They will never get 100% vaccinated because there are people who cannot get vaccinated due to health reasons. And there are students as well, by the way, who cannot get vaccinated due to health reasons. I think that a lot of what I'm hearing, if you really want to know, you know, the consensus out there from people who don't want to get vaccinated, they're afraid of the vaccination. They are afraid that it is not safe. And I don't think that that is something someone should overlook and decide, if you're going to work here, you need to be vaccinated. And I think that they're going to have a lot of lawyers and a lot of issues if they are pushed to get vaccinated.
So, Karine, I understand. I am empathetic to that view. Mm-hmm. But I also have to say, just to address the underlying philosophical issues for a moment, it seems like many people who take that position believe that they have the enjoyment of absolute freedom. They can do anything they want. Under our system of liberal democracy, there is a limit to the freedom that an individual can exercise, and their exercise of freedom should not put other people in harm's way. And that, you know, I do think that's something that we should be aware of it when we're having discussions. But you know, I get the position. I don't.
And you know, you asked me if it's something. I mean, I thought it was very astute of you to ask whether or not it's something that hit the negotiations table. It has not. It is that new, Dr. Bob. It is probably going to be the fight of the next contract if I get this one settled. Whereas we are trying to make sure that our members' rights are protected in a very, very new vaccination world. It is new that I would not be one. want to be the one to stand up and say, you need to do what I did. You need to go get vaccinated. I think what we do need to be aware of is that if it's a process, then we need to educate them, not punish them.
Okay, understood. So I am curious. One of the things that I noted in preparing for tonight's interview is that in addition to some of the steps that safety measures you've already described, that the CDC recommends that all school districts do some sort of hazard assessment plan. So I'm curious, has the district conducted such a hazard assessment plan? Is it the view of the union that it's been thorough and comprehensive, and you and your members feel confident in the findings, that this serves as a basis for, whatever kind of reopening is going to occur?
Yeah, good question. And yes, the CDC guidelines that just came out April 9th are asking them to submit. It's my understanding it's hundreds and hundreds of pages of a plan to submit. Nevertheless, a lot of that had already been done in the summer. And as I said to you before, Dr. Bob, not a lot of districts or district unions are as fortunate as we are that we get invited to the table. So if there is a district plan, we certainly are going to be a part of that plan. And I really encourage parents who are listening tonight that you need to be a part of that plan because sometimes I'm a very lonely voice on some of these meetings, a loud voice. I'm sure they'd like to mute me often, but a very lonely voice nonetheless. So I think that parents also need to ask these kind of questions and ask to be a part of the plan. The plan, by the way, they just brought in the consultants. I have their walkthrough schedule, so I know they just did a phase 1 of going in to see because we just brought the high school in last week, by the way. We just opened it up to more high school students. The week before that, we opened it up to 3rd through 8th. The week before that, we opened it up to pre-K through 2nd grade. So now we are fully phased in as of last week. So now we're going to really make sure that we don't get complacent and we don't make compromises with the guidelines. So that their consultants may have come in to do a walkthrough. I have just requested what the results of that walkthrough was. And I'll get my answers. We'll find out exactly whether or not there are issues. I meet with my building reps. Every building comes to me on Tuesday of this week. And when we find out what's exactly going on in the buildings, then we'll be a part of that reopening plan as well to find out if there's any cracks.
So this is obviously a topic that we can't cover everything in an hour. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you a chance. 2 things. If someone wants to get in touch with you, the Teachers Federation, the Federation of Teachers, I don't know, for a complaint or, whatever it is, how do they do that? And is there anything that I did not ask you that you definitely want to get out before you go?
First of all, we have a union office. When you have a membership as large as ours, we're right over on in the Chase Bank building on the 3rd floor. We have all our members know what our number is, but I'll give it to you. It's 664-3189. We have a secretary or office manager who will take your call. I teach as well as my vice president and one other officer. We have 3 officers who are in that office after we're done with our teaching. I teach 2 periods a day. And then I get release time to take care of everything else. So we welcome anyone who has a thought, anyone who wants to be involved, parents as well. Please give me a call. I will find a job for you for sure. What what did I not say? I will tell you that this stimulus plan that just recently, 2 weeks ago, came forth, there is money in this plan to take care of the teacher shortage. I need you to understand that when there's quarantining, under these circumstances, there are people who have to stay home because of health reasons. We have a huge teacher shortage in Mount Vernon, and we have a teacher shortage in the nation. And I think that this stimulus money has, if it's used properly, will allow for more teachers like psychologists, social workers, and teachers that are needed, as well as teaching assistants and security monitors. I think that this money, if it's used wisely, and we're going to make sure it is, can definitely solve many of our teacher shortage issues. During the day, if there's a teacher missing, we have to combine classes, and that means I can't do proper distancing. So we have a real issue when it comes to finding subs. They are offering subs $270 a day. So people are, I know, not bad, right? Right, Dr. Bob? You and I, well, this when we
I might have to come on down.
A lot of my friends who are retired are coming back in, and they're darn good subs, by the way. So I think that the money also allows for something that has been a bone of contention of mine, and I'm going to say it quickly. There has to be on-site testing. They don't want to do it because it takes too much work and too much organization. Nothing I'm saying right here, Dr. Gorman or Dr. Hamilton has not heard every time I speak with them. And the stimulus money specifically has funding for on-site testing. On-site testing would allow us to get at least the population on a regular basis tested within the building so that we could know what our levels are within each of our buildings. I don't want to have to go down to the neighborhood DOH and get tested because they're worried about the way I answered the question. I want it done regularly until this threat is at least gone, or until the end of the year. So that's my bit.
I want to thank you for your time and for coming on. And you can get my information from Dr. Bob. And, I'd like to stay in touch with you and follow the process of all this. And if there's anything Black Westchester can do to help get the word out about whatever, or, facilitate whatever, we definitely available. That's what we do. And I just thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. It was great meeting all of you. And I will tell you, as I told Dr. Bob, I read you cover to cover. I have always, you keep me in the know for this community. And I appreciate that. I understand the politics of this community, but when I read your articles, I truly understand what's behind the politics in this community. So thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now we know it's always good to hear that we're reaching people and we're not wasting our time, because sometimes you wonder if you're getting through. But I let me thank you, and I'm getting ready to bring on our next guest. And please stay in touch, because I would like to talk to you further offline about some of this stuff.
Asking. Thank you, Dr. Bob, for reaching out. Bye.
Thank you, Kareem. We appreciate it. And AJ, I'm just gonna. Go on, man. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the one thing that I really do appreciate is that Karine is one of the first representatives of a Mount Vernon union to come on here and discuss with us.
A school union, period. Not just Mount Vernon, just a school union.
Right.
Teachers union, period. First teachers union to come on.
And one of the things in our personal discussions that me, you, Lorraine, Damon, and others have been saying is that we really need to hear more from our union reps, from our municipal services.
Absolutely.
I hope everyone takes this as an invitation. Other union reps take this as an invitation to come on air and have an open, honest discussion with us. And we're not here to trip people up and to embarrass them. We want to find out what the needs of your union members are, because most of us are union people.
Absolutely. I'm going to play my little promo, and then I'm going to let Lorraine introduce our guests. You are now tuned into the People Before Politics radio show, brought to you by the good folks at
Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Check the newspaper. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Black Westchester. Check the newspaper.
Real talk for the community since 2014. Yes. We're getting into our second hour. You are listening to Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show. I'm going to have Lorraine introduce our guests, but before, I just want to let y'all know it's a pleasure to have y'all on. I'm looking forward to this conversation. And just so you know, because you might not be familiar with us, we're here to celebrate the life and legacy of X, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? All the haters can go somewhere else. We're here. We want to celebrate the life and legacy, and that's all this is about. So I just want to put that out there. I'm going to let Lorraine introduce y'all. Go ahead, Lorraine. You got to turn your mic on, baby. Turn your mic on.
All right. Thank you guys for showing up. I want to introduce Big Donnie and DJ Cool Cuts to the show. Thank you guys. You know, this is the thing. Black Westchester, we on this kick. Like, we give you your flowers now. And we just want to extend, you know, our love, support, and respect to you guys for everything you did for DMX, for how you salute him and how you celebrate his life. And I there you go. And I know that you guys have been out there holding it down for the people. For the people here in the community, you know, DJ, you've been out there everywhere. And because of folks like you two, there are people that have been able to handle their grief, to be able to come together as a community the way DMX would have wanted it. And we see that and we appreciate that.
Yes.
No doubt. We are working on a commemorative issue. I was 90% done with the paper. It's going to come out on Thursday. I scrapped the whole issue and turned it into a DMX issue. And it's nothing but celebrating his life. It comes out online tomorrow. It comes out on the streets Wednesday. We will make sure y'all have plenty of copies. There will be, because I just ordered extra copies. Yonkers is getting flooded with this issue. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there. Well, so Cool Cuts, I know that you've been DJing at a couple of the vigils, and Big Donnie, were you like his first security, first bodyguard, first? I'm getting bits and pieces because I'm just meeting you for the first time too.
Yeah. We've been down for years. I've been running with X before he was X. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you could say that, man. I've been in this corner, and I'm still in this corner. You know. Yeah.
No doubt. One of our people, former co-host, and she represents us, Cynthia Turnquest Jones. She said to Big Donnie, "Thank you for meeting with me yesterday, Big Donnie. Kisses." She was there at the park. I think she talked to you. She was there yesterday. So
yeah, she was there with me.
Yeah. We had a little get together where everybody chipped in a few dollars, and we just got hot dogs and hamburgers and music, DJ, and we just sort of want to celebrate his life, until the funeral. Everybody sort of coming together all around town. It's crazy, man. The love they're showing, and just what he meant to everybody in Yonkers, man, is showing right now. I wish she could have probably realized that, but it's crazy, man. Everybody, everywhere is just showing love, man, and that's what it's about, man. That's all we can do right now, and I want to be a part of it, to show all the love I can, and just let everybody know, man, that it is what it is, but we got to move on and just celebrate him, man. And just try to keep him and his legacy going, play his music, do his thing, I don't know, it's crazy, man. I'm at a loss with this, man, because that's my real friend, man, like for real, and so it's crazy, man. It hit me hard, but all we could do now is just, I don't know, man. Just love them
I,
how we love them, man,
I had the pleasure of being at the I was at the hospital that Monday, and we went to Ferris Avenue and Gardella Park. I was at School Street when they did their thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I was at Mount Vernon, that was just right down the street from me.
Yeah,
When they did their thing, and it's just like I streamed live and I posted a lot of comments and a lot of videos, and dude, there was love from everywhere. There's no place that there wasn't love.
yeah,
I
it's crazy.
got DJs I know overseas, from Japan and from Paris and the UK, who was sending me like, "Yo, thank you for streaming this," because of course they couldn't be there, so they was like,
Right.
"Yo," they were just happy to watch it live on my Facebook page, and I mean, there was genuine. You can tell that X was the type of dude touched everybody's lives in some kind of way that he came in contact with, and he impacted
Yeah,
people
man.
in such a way. Like, Jay-Z got that line, "I want them to love me like they love Tupac's soul." They love X like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they got that kind of
Yeah,
love for X.
yeah,
And a lot of rappers ain't getting that kind of love. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's good. Now, what
He
made y'all
raised
do
a
the
lot
thing
of people.
yesterday? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I say he raised a lot of people with his music, man, and everybody loved him, man. He was just a good guy. His heart was real, you know. We all had problems. We all got problems, but man, X was one of the most sincere, genuine people I ever seen, man. I ever talked to, I ever came in contact with. That's what we need to look at. That's what we need to try to put out
Right.
there, not the negative.
And that's what the issue is going to be. You'll see it after Wednesday. You'll see it's nothing but a celebration. I even got the new congressman, Jamal Bowman, who's talking about how X impacted his life, and how he was at that first summer. He was at Summer Jam that first year X came out, and he said the beat dropped, and they were standing on the chairs, and he describes all that, and it moved his life. And he's like, "Yo, he's in Congress right now. He's the new congressman." So X touched all kinds of people that are everywhere. Like, you never know whose life you
Yeah.
touch. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yes.
So talk about the event
Hey, man,
yesterday.
I
What
just
y'all
want to say
did?
this, like the
Oh,
police.
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was saying the police being so real about the whole situation, man. They cooperating. They ain't coming with the bull job. Like, they really trying to help us celebrate, man. And I appreciated that from the police,
No,
man.
that's
They
true.
came
That's
through.
true.
They walked through. They ain't being aggressive. They just want a peaceful thing, and they're encouraging everybody. And so that's what I really appreciated about the whole thing, man. The Yonkers Police Department was really, really encouraging it and trying to keep it real, man. And so hats off to them, man, for
Yes,
real.
they let everybody do and react how they wanted to react, how people felt about X. The police let the people grieve how they wanted to grieve. Everybody grieved differently. They were just there. They made their presence known, but it wasn't really like a show of force. People celebrated X the way they wanted to celebrate X, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a very beautiful thing that everybody came
Yeah.
together,
Yes, it
and
was.
it was peaceful. It was peaceful, no problems at all. I got a lot of thank yous. I got a lot of people saying what he's meant to people and what he's impacted them in their life. So shout out to the police department. They did a really good job. You're right on that, Don.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Shout out to Commissioner Mueller. Not only is he amazing, but the officers he put out there in the job were taking pictures with the kids, with them, the fans, with the community.
Yep.
They was out there because I took lots of pictures of YO with different
yeah,
people out there.
Yeah, and they just understood. They understood the situation, and they handled the situation the way they're supposed to. Let the people grieve how they wanted to grieve.
yeah.
Let us celebrate X the way we want to celebrate X, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing.
They get it. They get it, and that's
Yep.
good.
We had people send in their comments, their thoughts, and encouraging words about X. One of the people who sent in a picture of him and X and his encouraging words was the PBA president, Keith Olson. He sent in a picture of him and X and talked about X in a positive way. Like, he had nothing but love to say for X. And that's one of the things in the paper. He sent me his picture, or he sent Lorraine a picture of him and X, and had nothing but love for X. Like, so even the PBA president, you know what I'm saying, was
He's a hard one.
yeah, and he had love for X, you know, and he wanted to share that in this issue. Yeah.
And to know X is to love X, you know, and you know, to listen to his music. Yeah, there was a lot of curses, but there was a lot of things that was true, and you could relate to, and people loved him for that. Relate to his music and how he spoke out and how he felt, and people related to that because that's what he went through. And a lot of other people went through the same thing, and they just couldn't communicate that the way he could. And that was the beautiful thing about X. The people loved him and who he was and what he brought to the table.
Dr. Bob had a question. I saw you put your hand up, Bob.
Yeah. I just wanted to chime in. For one, welcome, brothers. It's a pleasure to meet the both of y'all. We've had an opportunity before, but you know, it's good to be able to break bread and to have y'all share with us your memories of X and the significance he played in your life, and maybe help us to frame how we should respond to his unfortunate, untimely passing. I wanted to say, just chime in and echo the comments that everyone has made with respect to the conduct of the police, because although I didn't attend the celebration out in, unfortunately, I'm from Mount Vernon, though I live in Yonkers. Mount Vernon is usually my home base where I do things. I didn't get a chance to attend, but one of the things that I noted was that the police seemed to be very flexible with respect to the Rough Riders, the bikes and stuff. Because one of the things, I mean, often my sense is that'll get a flag. Yeah. You know, they ain't allowing hundreds of people to get together on their bikes spontaneously and, you know, a show of appreciation. But that is a real hallmark. And I, you know, wondered in my own mind, you know, what allowed that to happen. And maybe it was just police. Go on, AJ.
So Dave Clark from the Mount Vernon Police Department, I talked to him, and he has a good relationship with the Yonkers Department, and Yonkers let him know that they were coming. So they set up for them. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? They had that mutual conversation. So Yonkers called Dave Clark and then to let them know they about to come through, they're gonna do their thing. And then they set up and they set up for them and they blocked streets off and everything. So they were prepared and they welcomed them. And that, I thought that was powerful. You know what I'm saying? And they had the kind of, Dave Clark made sure he had the type of cops out there who would respect X and the audience. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, brothers was doing what they was doing, but they let everything was peace, and they let everybody, like you said, mourn how they want to mourn, celebrate how they want to celebrate. They basically did that. And I seen the same thing. Shout to White Plains Police Department when we kind of took over Ferris Avenue. We were supposed to be in Gardella Park, and we took over Ferris Avenue, like a 2-block radius. And they for like 2 hours. And they welcomed us. You know what I'm saying? Like they let us take over the street.
As a matter of fact, they had a barricade on, and the lady cop moved the barricade and let me go into Ferris. Right. So like it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, but go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, so I would just say I've seen that in Yonkers, White Plains, even Mount Vernon. Like the officers, they definitely respect it. And in Mount Vernon, the officers was taking pictures. There's pictures of them taking pictures with the fans and rocking the X. You know, I got 1 or 2 officers did the X. You know, when everybody else did the X, like you know what I'm saying. Like that's like you know this white dude, the white cop with the white shirt, and they usually like the lieutenants or something, the higher ones with that white shirt on, and. Yo, I got a picture of him going like this, like, yo, he was out there. Yeah, he threw the X up. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, you have to love that. Like, and what I saw, you know, the thugs, the hood rats, everybody out there, and it was love for everybody. Now, you know, they're dancing, and if you don't know our culture, they're dancing and stuff look like they might have been about to get something going, but but I mean, yeah, especially on Ferris Avenue, like they look like they about to get into it, but they were just dancing and they were just celebrating, and that was his fans, like, you know what I'm saying? So I got a chance to so I've covered his career from day one. I used to write for the Source and everybody and everything back in the days. So I covered his, and I used to have a store in Art 125 on 125th Street across from the Apollo, where they will always get together in front of the Apollo. So I saw X there a lot. And then his publicist sent me on the road where they did the Cash Money Rough Rider tour. So I was with them in Boston and a couple other cities. And I got to cover him actually 21 years ago this month. It was in April 2000. You know what I'm saying? So I've had, and then when they shot the video in Mount Vernon with the scenes with Aaliyah for that backyard was the backyard next to my mom. So I got to, you know, see all of that. So I've had like different interactions with him, and I've always covered his career. And yo, just the people that he impacted with his music is just crazy. Like, you know, he was a real dude. And he didn't shy away from anything he was going through. He was an open book, but he let his life be a lesson, you know, to other people and still be an influence. And people all over
He was a prophet too.
People all over the world, I hear them say, yo, he was one of us and he made it and he represents us. And they claim him everywhere. Like everyone claims X. White Plains, because I think he lived in White Plains part of the time. They claim him. Mount Vernon, he lived there till he was 1. Mount Vernon claims X. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Yonkers claims X. Everybody claims
the whole Westchester County. The whole Westchester County. The whole Westchester County claim X, man.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody. The whole
Harlem claimed X.
Everybody.
Yeah, Harlem claimed X big because it was always in Harlem.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing stuff with Dame Grease. Yep.
Right. So, yo, I listened to a lot of the early music that you don't hear, the early years, the stuff that came out before he was on Def Jam. Yo, that was just like classic X. Like a lot of the collabos. Yo, dude just was killing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was the album. People don't know him, Ja Rule, and Jay-Z formed a crew called Murder Inc. Before there was Murder Inc. And they were supposed to do an album. The album never came out, and all three went their different ways. But there was supposed to be a Murder Inc. album before he was on Def Jam. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With Jay-Z, Ja Rule, and X. They were crew called Murder Inc. Yeah. And that album, I heard cuts and from them together. That's like one of those missed moments in hip hop. I think that would have been like the dopest album because they was all like young and in their prime, like with something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things we talk about in the issue. You know, stuff like that. Hopefully, people learn, you know, a lot of stuff like that about him. You know, so what is? Both of y'all give me. I'm sure there's too many to say your fondest memory, but give us some of your fond memories of X.
Well, the thing is, you know, my
man, I gotta. Oh, go ahead,
Don.
Go, you go.
Okay, so my fondest memory.
I was gonna say I got several, man.
Big Donnie go first, and then Cool Cuts go.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Go ahead, Donnie. You kick it off, Donnie.
All right. Well, I actually I got several, you know, things we did. Like I went all around the world with them, a bunch of places, man, a bunch of states. I say one of the best times I ever had with him was we stopped in Greenville, South Carolina, at a little restaurant. It was just me and him. And it was a lady's birthday, an older white lady, and she asked me, could I get him to sing a song for her? So I asked him. He said, no, I ain't gonna do nothing. He said he didn't want to do it. So I said, well, go on, man. It's her birthday. You know what I'm saying? Go on, rock for her. Yo, I never seen this guy perform so good, man. He actually sang a song, Always and Forever. He did it with the karaoke. Man, it was so amazing.
That ain't easy right there.
Me, man. He shocked me. But the thing was, he didn't want to be filmed. And so I had asked everybody in the place, don't film. You know, if I see your phone, I'm going to take the phone, this and that. They gave me their word they wouldn't do it. Everybody sat there in peace and unity, man, and just watched him perform. And it was just a lovely, lovely thing, man. And I looked at him in a whole different light, man, from that point. Because, like, he really could sing a little bit, you know what I mean? And that was a good time I had. Yeah.
And he loved them old R&B cuts. Because, you know, I've seen little clips. Yeah, he loved them old R&B cuts, and he loved to sing them old R&B cuts
man, he had
when nobody's around.
Yeah, he could sing a little bit. He really could.
I remember when we did he did the turkey giveaway in School Street, and I was playing his music. He's like, no, don't play that. I want some old R&B. He didn't even want me to play his music. He just wanted to play old R&B. And that's the fond memory I have of him. When he used to always come donate to the community, always showed up when the community needed him. He was always there, and he was always his time, food for the community, and he was always, he was always willing to talk to you, always willing to take care. And he was a great guy. He was a really great guy, and fun to be around. Yeah,
absolutely,
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
He got a big heart too. Big heart.
Yeah,
You just showed up
very
back,
big heart.
man. If you ask him
That-
for it, he'd give it to you. Yeah,
and that's, I think that's, what
Huh?
a lot of people that know him understand that, but a lot of people that see it on the outside don't understand. They only hear the stories of what the media puts out, anything, but they don't see the heart that he's giving back to the community. Nobody's perfect, but his heart was so big.
Yeah.
I met him because I lived on Lima 28 Lamantine Terrace for 10 years. So I knew him through his grandma and his great grandma, because they took me under their wing and they took care of me when I was a young person living on 28 Lamantine
I
Terrace.
used to live on Lamantine. I lived on 28 too.
No.
I used to live there.
With Miss Jones and Miss Todd and Miss Evelyn.
That's where you raised. Yeah, I lived there for all my That's where I lived too.
Yo, what you look familiar? We must have crossed paths.
Yeah, we probably did. We had to. That's where I lived too. I swear.
Small world. It's a small world.
I also knew him.
Yeah.
I also knew him through Simmer Brandon when I was in the city council. Simmer would bring him into the city council, and he will always and back then his wife. Back then his wife, he would come into City Hall and he would always donate to the community and stuff like that. So I have I know his songs, but I never followed it. I don't follow hip hop. I follow salsa. Right. But I knew of the person I know of him is a tender-hearted, good, loving person. That's who I know of him.
Yeah. Yes, and that's so true. That's so true.
No doubt.
Yeah, and as me, like being a DJ and stuff like that. I mean, before I started DJing, I used to go to the clubs, and everybody would play Biggie and stuff like that, and other artists. But when they played DMX, there were probably like 3 or 4 people in the club from Yonkers, and they made it known they were from Yonkers. X record, they were like, "Where Yonkers at?" And you already know. I mean, it felt so good to be from Yonkers, knowing that they were playing his music and knowing that he always rep School Street. He always rep Yonkers. He always talked. Even when he won the awards, he always said Yonkers, School Street, always to his roots. And I loved him for that. Loved him for that.
I was born in Boba.
Yeah. I was born in St. John's Hospital in Yonkers. I was born in Yonkers too. But it's funny you said 28 Lamantine though, because I promise you, I was raised there too. And I know Holloway and Jarvis and Renee and Recule and all of us raised together. We all went to the Catholic school right there, Holy Rosary, me and Rhonda and Recule. Yeah, it was crazy. You remember that school?
Yeah, they're turning into a charter school now.
The Catholic school, Holy Rosary?
Yes. Yes, I was there.
That was crazy.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yo, Donnie, let me tell you what.
How old are you?
26, 54.
You said it. Wow. Okay.
53. I had
26, 54. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 53. So we had to see each other. I promise.
I know. Wow. No, 6 degrees of separation all the time.
Right, that's how it is.
It's funny. So we did Lorraine shared a story about ex's grandmother and great grandmother and another lady. A young man from Yonkers also shared his story in the paper that was talking about how his grandmother knew X and knew his family. Lorraine's the third lady in Lorraine's story was this young man's grandmother, and it's just like they just found out that like she knew him when he was a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Miss Jones, Donnie? Miss Jones from the first floor, always looking out the window.
Huh?
You know Miss Jones from the first floor? She was always looking out the window.
Listen. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I know all them people, man. I promise you. I know Miss Holloway. I know the grandmother.
Yes.
Jarvis, everybody from there know me too. Yeah, I really was born over there. When you tripped me all the way out when you said that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
When
Yo,
I got into the city council, I used to always take care of Miss Todd and Miss Jones, his great grandmother, because his great grandmother outlived his grandmother. And I used to always send
Yeah.
a care package, and she would call me for I was like always there for like when they both passed away, the grandma and the grandma, they took a part of me with them.
Yeah. See,
So
the great grandmother walked all the time. She was healthy. She was really healthy, the great grandmother.
You know, I wrote a story about that. So my son's father was an older man, very good looking, always in a suit. So Miss Todd, the great grandmother, would walk every day, but she used to know the days he was coming. So she'll sit out in the bench, and then so that he could come and say, Miss Todd, you need a ride to the store, and then she'll get in the car and he'll take her, and like she just enjoyed his company, and I loved it because we loved her, and it always made her happy. Yeah, she walked every single day. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what she did. She didn't even want the bus. She walked. Yeah.
You were talking about Yonkers police, and I spoke about the PBA president. He actually is listening right now, and he left a comment. He said he chose a DMX song as his entrance song to one of the fights in the Yonkers police and firefighter matches.
Nice.
He comes out.
At the
He comes out
PAL.
the X. Yeah, he comes out the X. So
Nice.
said,
Nice. You
so
know what? Somebody put up a video of X performing. Was that was in Yonkers, right? For the PBA?
Yes, that was him. That was him that put it up. Yes.
That was him. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Keith Olsen. Yes.
Yes.
And he did a beautiful tribute that's going in the paper too, as well.
Yes. And also, yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say also a fond memory I had. We had City Fest here in 2019, and when X hit the stage, the sky opened up, and that did not stop him. And here's a clip, real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a quick clip. You can see the sky open up. I mean, open up. It was pouring, and he ain't miss a beat. And then it started coming. The wind started blowing, so he was on the stage a little bit. He ain't miss a beat. He just kept, and he killed it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's another fond memory I have. Like, you know, most people be like, "Oh, it's raining out here. I gotta go." You know, because he even said it's raining cats and dogs, and continue performing. Like, I mean, he did a couple of joints, and that was just one quick scene of it. But you know. That's the dude he was. Like he gonna represent. He gonna hold it down. A little rain.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say, DJ? Cuts.
I was gonna say that talking about the mural for School Street, they're gonna start doing it Tuesday. I don't know how long it's gonna take to be done, but they're gonna start doing it Tuesday. I did see a preview of what they're gonna do, and it looks really nice. I was told that the guy that did Nipsey Hussle's mural, he's gonna work on it. Yes, he's gonna work on it. And the guy that did Big L's mural is gonna work on it as well.
Dope.
And that starts Tuesday. for everybody.
And
And
they already started.
It's gonna cover the whole wall. It's gonna cover the. I mean, I wish I could show you guys a picture. Literally, before I jumped on it, they sent me a preview. It's gonna look really nice. It's gonna look, if it comes out the way it is, like the way the preview thing is, it's gonna come out really nice. So
let me tell you something. The head of MHA, Wilson Kimball, she straight up, she only wants perfection.
Yes.
Only wants perfection, and she'll put whatever money the city of Yonkers. I can speak on behalf of the mayor to tell you, because, by the way, all that police stuff came via the mayor, because he tells the police commissioner basically, you know, what to do. But if they only want excellence, I know that for a fact about her. So it's good to hear that. It's good to hear that.
Yeah, I mean,
and anybody who's a hip hop head knows both the Nipsey and the Big L murals, and those are just dope ass murals. Like, I mean, if you're a hip hop head, there's no way. So you telling me that, I know it's in good hands. It's a good. And me and Lorraine will be out there Wednesday and Thursday handing out the papers, giving out the papers over there. So I'm sure I get some shots. I make sure I get some shots of them working on it. That's dope. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you know, School Street, Slow Bump, all the MHA projects, they have security. I spoke to Wilson Kimball, and she's giving Black Westchester a security clearance to go inside and give out the papers.
Yes.
I mean, they're doing everything they can, you know, to help. And I know they was on the phone with the family not long ago either, discussing the mural.
Yeah. But it's gonna be nice. What they put together in the picture that I saw before I hopped on with you guys, it's gonna be nice. And
so you're happy?
I am very happy, and there's gonna be a lot of visitors coming. I mean, when I was at Locust Hill, there were like 3 Europeans on bikes telling me, "Where's School Street? Where is it at? We came here. We just got here, and I don't know." So I had to tell them where School Street was because they wanted to go put candles down. But once that mural's up, it's just gonna turn into, you know, a different atmosphere. So I'm looking forward for that. I will be playing music, I think, Saturday and Sunday. I think they should be done by then. So I will be playing music Saturday and Sunday. You know, when it's done.
Make sure you let Lorraine know, and when it's done and you're gonna be out there playing music, and I'll make sure we out there with the papers and we come take some pictures and represent, you know, and come and celebrate.
Of course, yes, I definitely will be.
Absolutely. Bob had a question. Bob.
Yeah, Big Donnie, this question is for you, Cuts. We're gonna see if you could tackle this one. So Donnie, listen, you know AJ's you know, was down with JVC Force, you know, some time ago in the hip hop game. And whenever him and I talk, since he's my man, he tell me about the stage names that he tried out before he became AJ Rock.
Hell no.
So listen, I ain't gonna do to him what he do to me. He called me Biff Baskerville. I'm not gonna do that. It's all right. I could pay him back right now. But I'm curious, Donnie, who was X before he became X? Did he have any other stage names as he was trying to, you know, work out his public persona? You know, before he, because I mean, my knowledge of X is limited. You know, I'm not AJ. I don't have quite as much knowledge.
I think it was the Dark Man. He called himself the Dark Man, and he did a song years ago, "Born Loser." Before he ever really made it, he did a song called "Born Loser." I think his name was the Dark Man. The Dark Man.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, that was DMX. DMX stood for Dark Man.
Dark Man or something like that. And,
I see.
Yeah. And then they sort of, you know, and then I think Joaquin got involved and they sort of gave him sort of like a brand, like the dog, you know. Yeah, but he was always the Dark Man.
Yes.
Like he always thought, like, you know, he was, you know, this little dog, you know what I mean? And yeah, so when he got with the Rough Riders, they sort of pushed his brand and pushed his image as the dog, and that's where it came from. That's when like the actual dog image came out. You know what I mean? And it worked for him, you know, because he is the dog. So yeah, but at first he was a Dark Man, just DMX, like the Dark Man Unknown. That's what he called himself, the Dark Man Unknown, or something like that.
Yeah, the X was for unknown. Right.
Yeah. And then, you know, so they sort of switched it around and sort of made it. They kept his name, but they sort of, you know, put the image on it, like the dog, you know, the dog portion of it, and so and it just went crazy, you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's the only name I ever known him to have was DMX or the Dark Man.
Okay, got you. Well, you said that. I mean, you've seen his persona evolve over time. So, what besides the name? I mean, as his career progressed, did you see any kind of change in the music or his persona or anything that you think, you know, our audience members should be aware of the way you saw him grow, maybe as an artist, even the themes he was taking up?
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Like, to me, I mean, I know for a fact I'm probably his number one fan. Like, everybody probably say that, but I don't think nobody around could mess with him. Seriously, like, I'm just not saying that for no reason. Like he's tough, man, and I love him. I always like. I was the type like say we'd have a little show or something or a little battle. I'm the one that would probably they would have to grab and pull to the back because I was so hyped for him when he said something. Y'all can't, you know, and I would go off. So and I would, you know, sort of start a problem. So they would yo, get him back here, because he gonna make something out of it. And so yeah, I always believed in him. Like I always believed in him. I know he's the real deal, and he knew that I believed in him, and so. Undoubtedly, he was the real deal.
Were you there for the legendary DMX Jay-Z battle before the early battle they had? Were you there for that?
Nah, but I was around. Everybody couldn't go. I wanted to go so bad. They left me behind, man. Everybody couldn't go.
They like, yo, Jay's a real MC too. We don't want Big Donnie to get upset.
Oh, man.
Yo, they was going for hours.
Yo, let me tell you one more little story. Let me tell you one more little story, right? We was in Baltimore. And I got a call. They said, hey, come to the harbor. Now, I don't know what the harbor is, but I thought it was a problem. So I'm going to the harbor, right? And I see a crowd over here. And then I see DMX. I realized it's a battle. And it was like 7 or 8 guys in this battle. And for some reason, they all was going at DMX. Like everybody that would come, and they would come straight to him. And look, this is before he was DMX now. He ain't made a record yet. He ain't got nothing going. You know what I'm saying? He just one of these artists on the street that everybody fear in Baltimore. So his turn came. Well, first it was a guy named 6ix9ine. And this guy walked up to him and said, I'm 6ix9ine. And he told DMX, he flashed a little pistol. He said, I got my 9. He dropped it back and he said his little rhyme. And I said to myself, oh my God, DMX finna kill him. Yo, DMX got on. I seen DMX, he was standing like this. He bites his lip and he waits on his turn. You know what I mean? But he's sort of looking around to see which one he gonna get at. And 6ix9ine bought it. Like he walked right into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying to myself, I'm 6'6", so 6'9" is 6. So if anything go out, I'm saying to myself, I'm gonna get 6'9". But anyway, when his turn came, I never seen nothing like it, man. He walked up on this guy, and he started jumping around. He said, and he just went crazy. And he said, "What's that smell?" And he said, and he told him it's sex in the air. Thought I wasn't here. Thought I wasn't. And he just went off on this dude, man. I said, oh my God. And that was another one where they had to grab me and pull me back because I was going to make a ride out the thing. Yeah, but man, we had some good times. Like, it was hard to beat him in the battle, though.
Yeah.
Nobody really, Ja Rule they made me so mad. Well, I ain't going to bash Ja Rule, but he couldn't fool with him, man. Back in the day, they was talking about Ja Rule and this and that. I said, come on, man, get out of here, man. And I almost got into a few altercations, arguing with folks back and forth about Ja Rule and X. Like, come on, man, no comparison, but we ain't gonna go there. Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, I had some good time with that guy, man.
I think that's what led to the Jay-X battle, because Jay was making a name for himself in Brooklyn and everywhere. X was making a name for himself, and then they was kind of like the ones making the most name. And then somebody said, yo, let's put these two together. And it was supposed to be like a long ass battle. They went back and forth. And then, yo, when I was watching the documentary, he might not admit it now, but Dame Dash walked over to D&Y, was like, yo, I think your boy got Jay. I think your boy got him. Like he said, I think your boy got him. He might not admit that now, but he said, yeah, I think your boy got him. Yeah, I think your boy got him.
Yeah, I believe that too.
It's something about X voice, man. Somebody's delivery. His delivery's so crazy, and the way he talks to you, like he make you feel him, and everybody can't do that. That's the problem. That's what DMX had over everybody. Had that deliverance. He can look you right in your face and tell it to you, and he make you walk with him over there where he talking about. And that was the difference between X and a lot of people. You know, you could feel his words when they come out. When he open his mouth, you know exactly what he's talking about. Especially when he go to barking and jumping around, like he just puts you in his zone. And that's what he had going there, you know.
The way he wrote a beat, was like a jazz musician improvising, and there's always something different. And it didn't matter. Like whatever the beat was, he just knew he wrote a beat like nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like the different the beat was, the different the flow was. And he had different flows and everything, but he knew how to ride a beat like nobody else. Like he rode the hell out of a beat, yo. And that I always respect that.
And he'd
like,
put something on the beat in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He would hear the beat. He would hear a beat, and 5 minutes later, he'd have something go on that beat that's hot. That he'll go with it. Like I was with him in what was it? Salt Mine Studio when him and Machine Gun Kelly did the little song. X did that in 5 minutes.
Wow.
The beat came on 5 minutes. I said, Lord have mercy. You did that real fast. He said, it don't take me long.
That was a good song.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes. He'll put something in there.
Well, you know what? Something I've been seeing on social media a lot. Everybody is asking the question or comparing, or I don't know how you want to call it. They're saying DMX or Biggie, and it seems that most people are choosing DMX, not just so much because they're mourning him, because they're giving examples as to why. I mean, this guy was a phenomenal genius, an incredible prophet as well.
Yes, he was.
I think they're two different kind of artists.
I mean, that's hard. That's a hard one.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. That's a hard one.
That ain't hard.
But
I mean, I would
I'm
say
not asking you to say it because I don't want to put you all on the spot.
I mean,
it ain't no hands down thing with that. Them guys, all them guys is amazing, man. Biggie, X, Tupac, X, all them guys is amazing. You really can't. It's just a matter of personal opinion. Like you like Heineken, you like Corona, you like, but it's just like one of them things. They all good beers, you know. That's just how you gotta look at it. You know, it don't matter what I say or what you say. We all gonna have our own opinion about it. Some people say LeBron, some people say Magic. You know, that's just how it go, man. And it's controversy forever. But Biggie and DMX is a hell of a comparison. Can't nobody take nothing from neither one of them guys nowhere. You just can't say Biggie better. You just can't say DMX better because they both is immaculate men. And that's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
Biggie was phenomenal. Biggie was phenomenal, but X had more grittier lyrics. So it depends on what style you like. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Biggie's was a little more melodic in his flow. You know what I'm saying? But so it depends on what kind. You like the Cadillac or you like the Mercedes. Like either one, to both them people, that's the best car ever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's what you like. Well, Cuts, you were about to say something, Cuts.
I think X is the best.
Listen, I love Biggie. Of course, different styles. I'm from Yonkers. I gotta rep X. I'm gonna take X on this one. You know what I mean? I gotta rep Yonkers. I'm from
me too. Don't get me wrong.
I gotta go with X the dog. But I love Biggie as well. And then like Biggie, I think only made 2 albums. X came out with a whole bunch of them. Right. Like right when Biggie, when his death, that's when X started picking up, and he kind of put hip hop right back on the map. Right back on the map because he changed the whole style. It was gritty. Everybody was used to like the shiny suits and getting money and flossing. When X came, he came with realness, he came with grit, and he came with energy. And that's when he kind of put hip hop on his back.
That's a great
analogy.
I agree with you.
What X is like? You know what X is like? Mike Tyson in his prime when he used to come out with just the shirt, like he would have a towel just cut. He would have no socks. He would have black shoes or blacks and would just whoop everybody ass and just get the fuck out. He didn't have no big robe. He didn't have no pretty robe. He didn't have no nothing. It was just raw Tyson. And the more he wanted to get you, he got you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that reminds me of like an X. Like Tyson beat somebody and they said, yo, you look sad. He said, yeah, I was trying to punch his nose up into his brain. He already knocked the dude out though, but he was hard. He didn't get him enough though. Like, you know what I'm saying? X was that thorough like that with the rhymes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was thorough on that level, like with the rhymes.
He kill you, man.
Yeah.
You ain't never. Let me tell you something. You never heard too many people challenge X to a battle, neither. I ain't heard too many people say, "Yo, challenge him." You know how get disrespectful and he wasn't really a battle rapper, but just his words are so real. They didn't want no problem with him ever. I never heard too many people challenge my man on no foolishness at all. You know, and I
Shout
like
out to
that about him
DJ
too.
Tri-State.
He didn't take.
Shout out to DJ Tri-State Jericho, who's on. He just said yo to everybody. He's tuned
Yo,
in right now.
Hey, what up?
that's my man, Tri-State. What's up? He's one of the best DJs
Jericho, what up, baby?
in
And
Westchester.
shout out to his brother John. Brother John is on too. His brother John Morrison is on too.
Yeah, what up? Those are my good
Yeah.
boys. Too. I spoke to John like 3 times today.
You know what else was good about X? He was a fan. Did you see? Because I just seen the clip of when he met Rakim. I don't know if y'all seen that clip going around when he first met Rakim.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And he was giving him love, and he was singing one of the records to him. He was singing Rakim's record to him, and he was just telling Rakim how dope he was, and X was
I
X
saw
at
that.
the time. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, yo, you could see he was such a fan. And then when the other clip is when he met KRS, and he was giving KRS love. Like those are great moments in hip hop. Like when you got somebody at that level giving homage to somebody that was at that level before, you know what I'm saying? And so that Jericho said, "What's up, Donnie?" He said, "What's popping?"
Yeah.
Oh, I think we lost Donnie for a second. I think he walked away.
Stepped away. I was gonna say, Donnie described X's performance down in the harbor. Sound like he was acting out Rakim's joint about lining people up.
That's where I thought he was gonna go. I thought he was gonna tell a story that he did like Rakim, took 6 MCs in the line, and took them out one at a time. I thought that's where the story was gonna go. I was hoping that's where the story went, because I was like, I was thinking Rakim as well when he said that.
Right.
I was sure thinking that. Yo, so you didn't hear me. Tri-State Jericho said Donnie was popping, and then he said cuts. So he said, "What's up to both of y'all?"
Yeah, man. Tri-State's
What's
my
up,
guy.
Jericho? What's up, baby?
What's
I'm
up,
just
man?
chilling, man. I just left there. I'm coming back Friday for the funeral. Just chilling, big boy.
Yeah.
What now
Now,
cuts as a DJ? Let me as a DJ. What? I know there's probably not one, but what's the X record that sets off? Every X record sets it off, but what's the X record that sets it off the most when you throw it on?
Well, for me, but the anthem, of course. But
of course, I already know.
Yeah, that's number one. But for me, since I'm from School Street, the School Street record, when I play that, it just makes it hits home, because the people he named on that record, they can relate. They know that's that record right there for me is special because I'm from School Street. So that one right there. Yes, everybody knows the anthem, all the other party joint, but the School Street record for me is number one for me.
I'm glad you said that, because the last piece I'm working on, the paper, is about School Street.
Yeah.
So offline, I want Lorraine to give me your contact information. I need a quote about X and School Street and the love they have for him. I need to capture that in words. So if you can give me a little bit tonight, sometime tonight, I'm finishing the paper. Yeah. That's what I need to finish that article. Lorraine, you were asking about the funeral.
No. Speaking about the paper, yo, trust me, guys, when I tell you, you're not going to be disappointed. The love that Black Westchester is giving in this paper is like none that no media has been able to put together. There's stuff that's going to blow y'all away. No, I was just going to ask, there's a little bit of a confusion about the funeral. Is it to the public with certain tickets, or is it private now? For, just like close friends and family like y'all.
Listen, I just got some news just now that if you don't have the COVID test or vaccination, you won't be able to get in to one of them. So
that's the Barclays Center, right? That's the one at Barclays. That's the public one at Barclays,
on 125th Street. I think it's the personal one.
Oh, the personal one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the personal one. You gotta have the COVID. I don't know. It might be both. Don't quote me on it, but it might be both of them. I don't know. I'll find out and call my girl Lorraine later. But I know it's something to do with the COVID test. Gonna have to be you have to have paperwork to prove that you had the vaccination or the COVID test.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I know
Too.
that's
Yeah.
a fact.
Real quick, Jericho said Cuts is the School Street DJ with a bunch of exclamation points at the end of it. So that's
Yes. I've been doing
Jericho can't come in. You can't bring him in.
I can give. Let me send him a link.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah.
I've been doing the School Street reunion. This year is gonna be 20 years. This year it's gonna be my 20th year doing School Street reunion. This year is gonna be special for me because it's gonna be my 20th year, and now that expat, it's gonna be a lot more special. So I'm looking forward to doing something big this year for the School Street reunion.
I knew of you through your government name. I'm not gonna say it, but I knew of you through your government name. That's how I know you.
Yes. And no, it's gonna be nice. But yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I live there. Actually, before I moved to School Street, I had 3 choices. I'm not gonna name the other 2 projects, but they said, "Oh, the School Street, there's this project and this project."
I already know. I know.
And I said, "You know what? We're going over here." Because I had ambitions of DJing.
You didn't want to go to Mulford or Slow Bomb.
Forgot it.
But I had ambitions of being a DJ, and when I got my equipment, I lived on the first floor, and then I lived in apartment K. Like, as soon as you walk in, you go to the left right there. And what I used to do is I used to take my speaker, put it in the window, and I used to play music. And then I would look outside to see if people were dancing, and people were dancing. And this was right around when X started taking off. So I was playing a lot of Rough Ride. I was playing a lot of DMX. And I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And from there, I took it from my apartment to outside. And then we started. The first year they did the reunion, somebody else did it. But after that, I was a DJ ever since. And, it's been no problems. It's always been beautiful. Of course, because of COVID, we did it last year, but it wasn't, as big as it always is. But this year, I'm going to expect something really nice this year.
Yo, real quick. So,
Jericho?
Jericho, I need you to turn on your mic and your camera. He's here, but he's got to turn on his mic and his camera. I'm just waiting for him to turn on his mic and his camera so I can put him on the screen. Yeah.
Jericho, turn your mic on, man.
Word. Yo, and see, this is what I want to do. I wanted to show love. Like, we trying to express love, and we trying to celebrate the legacy and the life of X. Because, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I wanted him to hear from people that knew him. Yeah. We hearing from a lot of people that don't know him. Well, they knew his music. They didn't really know. But, Donnie, you ran with him like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they had to hear that. Cut, you was DJing there, and you was there. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted people to see that, hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that y'all took the time. Listen, y'all could be doing anything else right now. Y'all didn't have to be on our show. I'm glad y'all took the time to come here, chop it up with us, share your X stories. I mean,
thank you for trusting me.
Yes. I listen. I'm in the car right now.
Okay.
His cousin and his aunt, and I asked them, do they want to come on? They were a little shy, so I was gonna give y'all a surprise, but
okay,
not one to come on, so maybe next time.
Who you got, Rhonda Recula?
No, I got Katrina and her mother. You know Katrina?
Okay.
Katrina.
Nah, that's the daughter. I don't know her.
Yo, much love and respect to them.
Them Jarvis,
Yeah.
Yo, Jericho's having issues setting up. He keeps going in and out, so we're gonna see if we can get him on. Hopefully, we get him on before we over. But much love to Jericho and John and what they're doing and they got their little brother. They got brother to brother over there on Instagram. The show, they're doing their thing. He said he can't get in. I don't know what happened. I know he was there. Yo, so if you can hear me, Jericho, you were in. It just said you had to connect your microphone and your camera. Because I saw you in, but it said you had to your camera.
Okay,
So
that happened to me. He got to turn off his cell phone or whatever equipment he's using. Turn it off and restart it. That happened to me, and my thing said restart it, and then it goes back on.
All right, so restart. If you're using your phone, restart it, Jericho, and try back on. See if we can get you on these last few minutes. Bob, any questions? Any comments? Anything that you want to?
Well, you know, AJ, one thing I've been dying to say, man, is, you know, back to this issue of differences in personal appeal. I have to say that my sister Sean, who you know, AJ, and a lot of our listeners know, she was a real X fan. She was real. My sister's real gritty too. She keep it 100. She ain't taking no shorts. She ain't taking no shit.
Absolutely.
And she probably run around every day when we see her. She barking like so. You know. I mean, you know, maybe I had my number one might not have been X, but I do want y'all to know that I fully understand, and there's a very close connection. As a matter of fact, one of my brothers on B-Boy Dreams, you know, was pretty close as well. So, and I want to say that I just had an opportunity to go up to the county center not too long ago. Me, AJ, a couple of people affiliated with the Black Westchester family were fortunate of it. I have to tell y'all, you know, I mean, I felt the energy. I was out there. I was in my Brooklyn Bob mode. Just to, you know, feel the energy. X, Dragon, the whole crew. So, you know, those are just kind of like a couple of memories for me. Not so much a question, but, you know, just sharing some memories of my own personally.
I wanted to take a moment to also give my condolences to the loss of Black Rob and to his family and friends. And I was saying earlier, I know Money, Power, and Respect, the one that got both, 24 Hours to Live, I'm sorry, that got both of them on it. It's probably going to be one of the most requested videos playing on YouTube right now. It's probably going to get like their hit because they got both the MCs in there.
Yep.
And I had a chance to talk to Black Rob last year. He's going through some health problems and stuff. So I just wanted to give my condolences to him as well. I'm going to do something on the website to him, but I want to get this X thing done first. And but I just wanted to shout him out because, you know, definitely he'd be missed too. Go ahead, Donnie. See you, sir.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out, a condolences thing to Big Norm, man. My man Big Norm from the Rough Riders, he passed away too. They buried him Friday, man.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Close too, man. They worked together and did a lot of things together, man. And X had the heart attack Friday. Norm had an aneurysm Friday, so we buried Norm Friday. And man, Joaquin Dean did an excellent job, man. Remarkable job, man. Hats off to him. Sent Norm away, man, like a king. And I just want to say, you know, rest in peace to Norm too, man. Give my condolences to him, man. If y'all know him, y'all might not know Big Norm. Do y'all know Big Norm?
No, I don't.
Not personally, no. I want to shout out Wad too.
Yeah,
I want to say Cuts. You know your event is official when Wad show up. You know what I'm saying? That's no Wad, and he gave a couple of comments to Cynthia and Lorraine, you know, for Black Westchester. So that was dope. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when Wad show up, you know your joint is official. Like, yo, because Wad don't be coming for no BS. Like, Wad.
Nah, he really don't.
Yeah.
And you know what, Big Donnie, and yo, I gotta take you to lunch, dinner, or whatever, our vacation. But let me tell you something. You introduced us to Wad, and he told us. He said this is an exclusive interview I'm giving Black Westchester because I have not spoken to any media since he passed away. And you're much respect for that, and it's very appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. We love him. Anything I can do or say, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. I love him for real. Like, I don't just be talking about it. Like, we had a loss, man. We had a loss with this guy, man. Like, for real. And it's just crazy, like, the love that they showing for him. Like, I wish he knew himself, man. He probably would have did a few things different if he knew how much effect that he has right now on people. You know what I'm saying? I just
he
really
knows.
feel like,
he's watching.
Yeah. He's in heaven. Yeah, he watching. He watching though. He watching. You know?
Yeah. And getting back to Wad too. Like, shout out to Wad. I remember the year before the pandemic hit, we did the school street reunion, and he came through with the Rough Rider rescue team, and he donated book bags, school supplies to the kids. I mean, you know, that right there, you know, meant a lot to us. And he came through and he showed so much love to the kids. And, you know, every book bag was stuffed with school supplies, pencils, everything. He came through, dropped it off, took pictures. Everybody was happy to be here. So I wanted to thank him for that as well. I thanked him that day. But I always want to thank him for what he does for us every year. He's a good guy.
My memory of Wad at
Yeah, he is.
125th
I love
Street,
Wad.
Mark
That's my best friend.
125, at 125, he's always trying to get everybody to eat healthy. So I remember Eve used to come through and she used to always get them oxtails from the dude upstairs. And he'd be like, yo, you know how long that's going to take to run through your body? And he was just like, and she wasn't trying to hear it because she wanted them oxtails. But he was just like, yo, he was giving her all the reasons why she shouldn't be eating it. And that's how he was. He was always trying to get everybody to eat healthier and everything like that, like the whole team and everything.
Mhm.
But Eve wasn't having it that day. She came there for those oxtails, so she was going to eat them oxtails that day. Yeah, so.
He liked the
Joe, so
mocktail.
Jericho was like, he was having problems coming on. He said, great show. He said he's sorry he couldn't come on. He off to the side smoking one of them big fat cigars, like he always do. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
you do. Yeah, like you do. Right.
Yeah. So he's smoking a big fat one for everybody, but he said he was having complications getting on. So he said X was the voice of every ghetto kid in America and all the kids in a group home of being hopes to being a star.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's 100% true.
that's what Jericho just typed. Yeah.
100% true. 100% true. Right. 100% true.
You know, DJ Cuts, before we finish this up, let everyone know how to reach you in case somebody has a venue and they want to hire you.
Yes, you could reach me at Facebook, which is DJ Cool Cuts. Same thing as Instagram at DJ Cool Cuts. You can call me at my number. My number is 914-294-8818. You can reach me there. Leave a voice message or you can text me there. If you need anything, please, you know, we're here. We're here for the people, and you know what? We'll come and have a good time.
And Lorraine, can you connect us so I can get a quote or two from him about School Street?
Sure.
Right after the show? Yeah. Right after the show, I want to just holler, get that so I can capture it in words. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna text you the number he just gave, so you can give him I mean, is that okay? And
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
But Dr. Bob had his finger up.
I was going to say, I see Hector Santiago offered up a comment. That song, Flip and Save Lives, X was the truth. I wanted to know, even though unfortunately we're all coming to terms with the fact that X is not going to be here with us physically, but great artists live through their music. I'm wondering if I'm hearing rumors that there's a new album that's scheduled for release soon. I'm curious if y'all can tell us anything about that. And Donnie Cuts, you know, can we expect, you know, the lost tapes of DMX? I know a lot of artists got a lot of material that they did that never even, you know, seen the light of day. Do you know if there's discussions going on amongst the Rough Rider team to see, you know, we could get some more of his music and, you know, to connect with the man?
Yeah. You know, I would say you guys talk to DJ Superior about that. He has a lot of his music that's, you know, a lot of freestyles, a lot of things that they did back then. He was actually at the Nepperhan Community Center. I left there.
Oh, really?
I hopped on.
I know him since he was a wee kid. I knew him since he was a wee kid when I used to do the summer camp in School 12.
Yes. Well, DJ Superior, you got to talk to him. He has a lot of unheard music, a lot of the freestyles that came out on his albums that came out to be, you know, big hits. He has everything, and I would say, you know, if you guys want exclusive on that, you talk to him, and he'll definitely let you hear it and let you play it.
So you gonna give us the connect?
I got the connect.
Yeah, nah, of course.
We got Lorraine. What's wrong with me? Yo, AJ, forgive me, man. Tell Lorraine I'm sorry.
Yo, so Jericho said, and Cool Cuts can repair any appliance as well.
Yes. I fix appliances. Yes, I fix.
He got his own business too.
Yes, that's me. Yes. I own Speedy G's appliance repair. That's me.
Okay, no doubt. That's what's up. So as we come to the close, any last word?
Keep calling me. Tell him to call it back. Please.
As we come to any last words? Anything I didn't ask you that you want to say about X or about anything?
What I want to say is, for him, thank you. To thank him for all his music and all that he's done for the people, all that he's done for me. I mean, I've partied to his music, I've cried to his music, and everything that he's done to the community as far as donating to the reunions, all the reunions that we did, he's donated. Why the same thing? I just want to thank him, and his music is gonna live on forever with everybody, everybody all over the world. He was a big artist, and he's definitely gonna be missed. Thank you, DMX. Thank you so much.
Yes, any last words, Big Donnie? I think we lost him.
He's having a little bit of connection problem.
One of the things I just want to say before it's over too. Oh, go ahead, Donnie. Any last words?
Yeah. If I had to say something, I would just say thank you, X, man, for being my friend, man. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mourn you till I join you, bro. I'll see you again. That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And one of the things I wanted to say, right? Your camera's not on. Your camera's not on. But one of the things I noticed that I got a page in the paper about it. His spirituality, there was a spiritual side that people didn't know about. He prayed on every record. He had a prayer on every record. Lord, give me a sign wasn't his first spiritual type record. It was just the first one they made a single. He had a real big spiritual side. He prayed all the time. And you know what I'm saying? That's another side that I like to see more of the media speak on and talk about and bring out. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately they haven't. I want to thank y'all both for coming through, man. Greatly appreciate you. Cuts, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
No problem.
And tell the family, give them our condolences on behalf of the Black Westchester family.
Yes.
Right. And I definitely, me and Lorraine gonna try to be there Saturday or Sunday whenever they finish and you DJ. We're gonna try to be there.
Yes, I'll let you know. I'll shoot Lorraine all the information once I get.
All right, no doubt. Big Donnie, a pleasure, my brother.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate
I'll let you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. One love, guys.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, later, guys.
Nah, no doubt. So that was the second half of our show. We really hadn't had a chance to really give X no love, really talking in some of the last shows. So thank you, Lorraine, for setting this up because we had the second show of the second hour wasn't scheduled, and she got on the phone real quick, made some calls, and made it happen as only Lorraine can.
Last night, no, thanks them.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, but it was your idea. You made it happen like only you can, and
you couldn't ask me to do that, Lorraine.
Yeah, he asked me last night. This was less than 24-hour notice.
Bob can't do nothing here. So let's
go. Stop.
With the show shot.
Yeah, so we, this is good. I hope that the listeners enjoy it. I'm gonna break this up to edit just this part and post it, as for X, so everybody can watch it, just this part, and they can share it and everything. Thank you, Big Donnie and Cool Cuts for coming through, man. That was huge.
And the gentleman, very nice, respectful gentleman. Appreciate them.
It was good to hear from those who know him. I really, everybody's like, trying to get at the family and stuff, and I know they're going through, and I want to respect that. So I haven't even tried to ask nobody, even for a comment or nothing. But these two cats that knew him, we got a chance to talk to him, and that's the kind of the closest we were able to get to like having like an actual family on, and go ahead, Lorraine.
No, the reason I chose these two, not just because of that, but because they're also close with the community, and the community is mourning as a whole. So they've been comforting the people, Cuz through his music, Donnie through his organizing, putting stuff together, and it's appreciated. It's appreciated. Like sometimes, if you go there with the music, you don't realize all the work that was put into making it happen. And these guys have been nonstop since DMX passed away. They've been nonstop. They should be exhausted, but they keep it moving. They keep doing it.
Because Cuts I know he was at the School Street vigil. You said he was at Ferris Avenue too? Was he at Ferris? Was he out there on Ferris Avenue, White Plains too?
Yes.
Okay. So I know Jericho was in the park, and then somebody was playing music out of their red car.
In the street, yeah.
That was him in the red car?
I don't know if that was him in the red car. I didn't see a red car. I just,
okay. Yeah,
you know,
somebody...
if you go to his page, he got all of that posted.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
He was there. He was definitely there when Jericho was there.
But yeah, he was definitely there at School Street, and he gave us a shout out. Lorraine held up Black Westchester Day. He gave us a shout out on the mic. I appreciate that. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm really hoping now, real talk, as a labor of love, I tried to really channel X in building and creating this commemorative issue. I really hope, the people really appreciate it, really feel it, really like it. I hope that they it's something they want to keep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really tried to celebrate his life and his legacy from different angles. I mean, the elected officials in the area, they all sent in, ads to celebrate him. Andrew Stewart Cousins, Mayor Spano, Corazon Pineda. I probably mispronounced her name.
Corazon Pineda, Isaac.
Yeah.
Even John Rubo.
John Rubo, the charter school that Carmen works at. I mean, a lot of people said, and then even the Mount Vernon forward team,
MHA themselves,
MHA, and it was just, I really hope that people really enjoy this one, because I did it. This not for the elected officials. This is not for all the prominent people that people try to impress. This one is for the streets. This one is for the hood. This is for the fans of DMX. And I hope I did him proud. And that's all I'll say. You'll see the digital issue tomorrow in the afternoon. It'll be all online. Y'all can watch it. You can look at it digitally on your computer or on your phone. But the physical paper will be out Wednesday. And Lorraine's taking me through she's going to be my ghetto tour guide. We going to all the projects and all the buildings. And we going in. She got us permission to be there. Security. So security let us in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be here. No. We got a letter from the mayor prove we could be here. Like, So shout out.
You got that special pass.
Shout out to everybody. Now, when they see this, if people love it, they're gonna give Black Westchester credit, and they're gonna give me a lot of credit. And I laid it out. But there was a lot of people who contributed. There's a lot of people who took pictures. There's a lot of people who made phone calls for me, who got quotes from other people. Lorraine held it down like no other, like only Lorraine can. She got ads, she got quotes, she got pictures. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Let's put it this way. I was saying, like, if you see like LeBron bring the ball down and slam it, that dude who gave him the ball, he gets an assist. Lorraine get an assist on this issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she fed me the ball. You know what I'm saying? I hopefully I slammed it in, and it's a monster slam. And I hope that's how it's looked at. But if it is, Lorraine kind of tossed the ball up in the right area. She always advocates from Yonkers. She argued with me. She yelled at me. She was like, "You got to put this in. This got to go in. No." So there was a lot of that. But I think the result is going to be a beautiful issue. Hopefully, I mean, it don't matter what I think. It's like I was telling Lorraine, I was like, it's like when somebody come out with a new book, a new movie, a new album, or a new song or something. When the fans say, "Yo, that's that shit," then you know you got a hit. You know what I'm saying?
Happy, AJ. They're gonna be happy. This is your best work yet.
So I'm like, yo, I'm just waiting for the people get it in their hands and they look at it and be like, yo, ain't nobody hold it down in the media like that for X. That's what I want to hear. Then I know I did something. You know what I'm saying?
I did.
So
I'm getting several texts, including one from Donnie. Everyone wants to know about the show. Are you gonna cut it up and put it out tonight?
I'm gonna put it. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna put it on Black Westchester tonight. I will send you the link. You can send all of them the link so they can all put it on their pages and all that good stuff. So it'll be up in a couple of hours. I just gotta give me a minute, get something to eat, and take a break. So
Okay.
that's it. Then I'm putting an all-nighter on tonight to put the finishing touches on the paper and do a massive editing session, and it goes to the printer tomorrow, So we were 90% done, and we had a whole paper done, and we threw the paper away and started over and made it an X paper, for real. Like, I put in work for this one, so I hope I did X proud, and I hope his fans love it. And that's it, man. That's all I have to say. Any last words, Bob and Lorraine? Bob?
Dr. Bob.
No, I did want to say that I wanted to speak directly to our audience for a minute and say that AJ and Damon and the rest of the team that they have assembled have, I think, made a good faith effort to try to get as many voices that represent our collective communities, both the Black community, communities of color in Westchester County. And we can't get all those voices on air for you guys to listen to talk about the important issues from their perspective without your help sometimes. So I know that I'm speaking for AJ, Lorraine, and Damon and asking people to, make recommendations for important, persons, community leaders that you'd like us to highlight for the show to offer perspective on the various issues that we're confronting. I think that we're going to be able to do a lot better as a community with the more voices that we have. And so, I just wanted to make it very explicit that we're looking for additional voices. So please share your recommendations with people at their various email addresses, the ways that everyone knows how to get in contact with the folks from the show. That's all.
Lorraine.
And I just wanted you, it was a great show. Great show. Appreciate the two guys coming in. They didn't know you, AJ. They didn't know Dr. Bob. They didn't know none of us, and the fact that they went out, they came in and they didn't know what to expect, and I was like, just trust me. They came in good faith. I hope that we made them proud. I hope we made the people proud. And I'm proud of you guys. Thanks.
Yes. And I want to say thanks to Kareem D'Amato once again for also taking us up on our invitation, because many people are reluctant to come on air. We're discussing sensitive matters. There's a lot of distrust in the media, and so I'm glad that people do have faith in us, and I appreciate her giving us the opportunity to talk about the important issues for the Mount Vernon Teachers Union in the school district.
No doubt. If anybody just tuning in for the first time, this is Black Westchester's People Before Politics radio show. We're on every Sunday, 6 to 8, streaming live on Facebook and Instagram. We sometimes have a Tuesday show where we interview candidates, and we might touch upon a topic on like a Friday show or something. Like I think waiting for Bob to put together the police reform thing, so we could do that series. Hint. We appreciate everybody. This is our 296th show. We're 4 shows away from our 300th episode, which is an accomplishment, and it's been amazing to be here. We couldn't have been here without all of you who listen, who support, who advertise, who make donations, all that. It kept us going. Appreciate you. We're celebrating our 7-year anniversary, Black Westchester, in July. Celebrating the 7-year anniversary of the radio show. August, 4-year anniversary of the newspaper, and your dog is trying to make an appearance. You can tell. Here in the background, your dog's trying to make some noise. The dog wants some camera time or something. Like, the dog's like, yo, I ain't getting no camera time. What's going on? Like, ain't nobody put me on the
and
camera.
they think there's competition out there.
Right.
Guys.
So when I said where my dog's at, I was talking about DMX. When I said where my dog's at, they thought I was talking to them. So thank you all for tuning in. Y'all could be doing anything else right now, but you decided to ride with us. We greatly appreciate it. Louise Jericho said, thank you, Dr. Bob, AJ, and Lorraine. I will be in touch with you regarding something that I'm trying to bring into Greenberg. Stephanie said, that's what a democracy is about, debating issues, AJ. Hector said, that's right. Teamwork makes the dream work. We got us. Stephanie wrote something in Spanish, and it ends with the word Gigi. So it was a message for Gigi. I'm not sure what the words mean. Lorraine can see it. So I'm
Wants to know
sure
what
she got
said.
whatever
She
it
said,
was
where
that
is
you were
Gigi?
talking. Oh, okay. Amazing
What?
show.
She heard her name. There she is.
Okay, now it ain't a show until Gigi make an appearance. It ain't a show. So what up, Gigi? So yeah, everybody said amazing show. Y'all look younger this year. They must be talking about you,
Thank
Lorraine.
you. No, he said y'all.
Yeah, great show. Thank you all. Share DJ Cool Cuts link so we can support his business. We got us. That's what Hector said. We definitely will do that. When I post it on Black Westchester, I'll make sure I put something down there for links to him. That's it, yo. That's it. Without further ado, see y'all next week. We out.